Hi everyone, welcome to the Wisdom Podcast. Wisdom, which is Women in Science Development Outreach Leadership, the idea to empower students and women in science. I'm Jinda Kalyana, your host for this season of Wisdom Podcast. And today we have a very special guest with us, Dr. Amelie Ramirez, who is the head of Population Health Department here at UT Science. So let us now know all about her. Welcome, Dr. Ramirez.
Well, thank you so much for reaching out to me. And really a pleasure to be here with you.
Thank you so much. So, we're very curious. Not everybody knows what is population health and how to advocate for Latino health. So, you grew up in Laredo and then you started your career by doing blood pressure studies and now you are here. So, what are those pivotal moments or something that is very present in your early career that set your path towards Latino obesity?
Oh, gosh. Well, first of all, Laredo is predominantly a Hispanic community. Almost 90% of the population there is of some Hispanic descent, mainly from Mexico. My heritage is a combination because Laredo itself was occupied by 5 different forces, back in the 16 and 1800s. And so there was even some French influence there. So my grandmother was French, and that's where Amelie comes from. And but my father and grandparents are originally from Mexico. But most of all, we were a small community of mainly the differences there were economical. We had a community that cared about its children and wanted to make sure that we had opportunities for education. And so what I saw the difference was in the area of health. And part of it was my dad was in the Air Force. He was an Air Force mechanic. And he ended up getting sick and going to the hospital. And I remember as a young girl that I wasn't allowed into the hospital, and he would wave to me from, his patient window where he was being treated. And so that just always, I want to get in that building. I want to be involved and seeing what I can do to help people lead a healthier life. And that has just always kind of motivated me.
Amazing to know. And I know you have mentored and find working programs that help advocate a lot of issues that is going on. One of it is Salud America. So it reaches thousands of people. So what do you have to tell about it?
Salud America is a very interesting program. We actually started working on it in the area of childhood obesity with the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation. And I was invited to become as a kind of a senior executive to talk to them about what were the issues of childhood obesity. And they found out that among Latino children, our children had some of the highest rates of childhood obesity. And so we developed a program. How could we educate individuals about better nutrition habits, better ways of eating to help their children? And so the first part of it is we funded 20 pilot projects. They gave us funding to be like a little funding agency. And so we identified 20 projects throughout the U.S. that were addressing different issues. Some of them were parks and recreation, others were just exercise, others were how can we change menus and actually put calories on there in some neighborhoods, how can we start community gardens. So from that, we realized that, doing small pilot projects was not going to reach a lot of people. And so we said, okay, how can we extend the reach of getting to more people to advocate for change? So as part of my own work in my graduate work is that I focused a lot on the social cognitive theory, where we want to help people see other individuals like themselves making positive change. So this is part of the research that I have brought into our program here. And so Salud America is about identifying Latinos making positive changes in their lifestyle and sharing their story with us about how they went about it, what were the steps that they took So when individuals hear or see our programming, because back in the day we used to be on radio and television and newspaper, and now we're using a lot of social media for getting our messaging out, but people could identify with the individuals that we were able to share their story. And we talked about them, how did you come in for screening? Mother said, well, I had to get a babysitter. I had to get somebody to take care of my child so I could go have my breast exam, and I could go in for my mammogram, and things like that. So they broke those steps down so that other people said, well, if she was able to do it, maybe I can do it too. So the whole idea was to motivate and to show others doing these positive behaviors and to create a bigger synergy. And in the end, what we found out is that you can do small group education, which is still very important, but you may only reach 10 or 12 people at a time, right? Or with mass media, we can reach a much larger, maybe thousands of people. You still may only have a 10% gain, but that becomes 1,000 versus 10 people, right? And so this is how we have built our Salud America program to cover different issues. Then we also created just a very expansive website where people can download toolkits and they can replicate their programs that we've developed in other areas. And so we listen to our community to see what kind of topics they want covered. And so we're able to move along different areas. Like, for example, we also do a lot on clinical trials. Less than 5% of Latinos participate in clinical trials, but that's considered the state of the art, right, of bringing medicine to our communities. But people don't understand them. They think they're guinea pigs. They participate in the trial. The word trial itself, I don't want to go to a trial. I didn't do anything. Why should I be, in a trial? It's not a legal situation. So the explanation that what are clinical trials is very important to share with our community, so we can begin breaking down those barriers that keep people from coming and participating in their health.
That's amazing. So, we having like a lot of such stories, but is there something that surprised you the most about communication among the communities, also for people?
I think that the hardest thing is access. We can educate and people begin to understand the importance, but they say, I don't know where to go. I don't have health insurance. So that is a huge concern for us. And so we work with a lot of nonprofit organizations. We try to have community resources that if someone does share that with us, that we can give them alternative places where they might be able to get some coverage. Because we feel we need to provide some kind of a safety net for them.
This is one of your many important businesses, but among your many working here, like from patient navigation to mobile health to like bilingual or quick walking. So which are you the most proud of, and what did it actually teach you about designing solutions that can truly fit your community?
One that you didn't mention that is really special to my heart is called éxito. That means being successful. And this is where I was able to recruit 20 students per year who either completed a master's or were near completion of a master's, and encouraging them to go into a doctoral program. Many of our minority students, less than 6% go on to go and get the doctoral degree. So for me, it's understanding what are those barriers that are keeping some people from wanting to go that next step. And so it was really critical. So out of our cohort of over 300 students that came through our program, because we only accepted 20 per year, and I was able to keep it going for 10 years, over a third of our students went on to go get a doctorate degree. And they shared their experiences of what a difference a one-week program made. The program mainly consisted of sharing real stories of other individuals like themselves that had gone on and got a PhD, and saying that they weren't always a straight-A student. They didn't know how to choose a mentor. They didn't know what schools. They didn't know where to find the money. So we designed this one-week program that could address a lot of these issues for them and give them a roadmap of how they could take the next step. and applying for a doctoral program. And still today, I'll go give a scientific presentation and someone will come up in the audience, Dr. Ramirez, do you remember me? I was in Éxito, and I'll give the year and everything. And so, and then what we encourage each group is to become their own social network. So those 20 individuals became such good friends that they now had friends across the United States. We recruited from all over. And they were their own little support system, and going. So
that's how the university amplifies person who have created that for so many students. Like you have more than 30 years of experience, mentoring over hundreds of students and conducting a lot. How has the definition of success changed over the time?
Oh gosh, that's a great question. Part of it is as researchers, you have to be responsive to the funding agency, right? And their criteria continues to change, all the time. And so some of the challenges that we're seeing now, it's harder to do our scientific work on the budgets that are provided by NIH and the caps that are available, because the types of clinical exams or clinical tests or labs that they're asking us to do are more and more expensive. So now that measure of success is becoming more precise, kind of like precision medicine. But at the same time, I feel like we're not having the same amplitude in terms of reaching as many people as we'd like. So balancing those two, getting to the point of success and still reaching a larger number of individuals is challenging.
I know what really challenging as you must be saying, and also you are doing, you're wearing a lot of hats. You are running Salud America, leading major research, and coordinating a lot of things. So how do you consciously decide what to say yes to, and what keeps your joy alive to all structures?
Another great question. No, thank you. Makes me think a little bit. I think I've never been afraid to say no. And so, yes, so my plate does get full sometimes, but I'm also, I like team building and bringing others that can help us meet that goal or that objective, and to say, how can we expand the program, or how can we take what we know and utilize our knowledge, but look at that problem from a different perspective. And so that has been, this team building and getting dedicated people wanting to work on that issue has really made it easier for me and continues to give me joy. And I said, one of the new things that I'm involved in is that every other year we now have a conference on advancing the science of cancer in Latinos. And that conference is growing. And when I see students presenting their abstracts or our invited speakers, really share what they've learned with the group that has attended, and to see everybody leaving so happy and saying, this is the best conference I've ever attended, or I'm glad that this was the first one, because this is how I'm going to measure all my other conferences that I attend to, so that that just gives me great joy to see that not only were they learning, that we helped amplify the issue, and that now we've got more people working to help resolve the problem.
That's so cool. And I feel like a lot of, thought process and putting a lot of, people together. I know your students must also be involved in it. So, in the same line, for students and also young professionals who are just starting out, is there a particular or personal story that you always carry that you want to put forward and encourage students that, this is how the learning that was to be or going to be? So, is there any particular inspiring story that you always carry during your content time that makes you feel like, this is why I'm doing something?
It's funny that you mention that, because my parents had so much, they gave our family so much to ensure that we were able to get an education. they were not able to go beyond high school themselves, but they recognized the importance of education. And my dad was, when he volunteered for the military, his first job was an orderly in a hospital. And he shared the story. He says, when I came and I brought this gentleman, a hot meal, made sure his coffee was hot, and that, everything was just right. And that the patient said, you must like your job. And my father says, well, no, not really. But if I were in your shoes, I would like somebody to treat me, this way, and so it was just that whole issue of respect that I think continues to be very important in the work that we do. To respect each other, regardless of, what level or what type of job we have or how many initials we have, behind our name, showing somebody empathy, showing somebody that you care are the most critical elements in any kind of work that you do. And that's what keeps me going. I've really been blessed by the number of people that I've met in my career who don't hesitate to open the door, as there's always more work than there is time, so invite others in and work together and trying to create a better solution.
So, inspect oneself of the effect that you look. So, we are at the end of the conversation, and we have a fun question here. So, if you could invite any three people, living or dead, for a cafe table and a conversation about Latino health or about any topic, who would you pick and why?
Oh gosh, I really like that question. I thought that was very interesting. And so for me, I've always admired Sister Teresa. The work that she did, regardless of the level of the community that she was in, how poor the community was or whatever, she really gave from her heart. And I just feel that that's what's so important in the type of work that we do, particularly in healthcare. That we really need to show that we care and that they're not just an individual, but they're someone that you want to help and you want to really treat them as if they were your own family member, right? And to make sure that we're offering the best quality care that we can. And so, again, going back to what I said earlier, that empathy and that caring and love she showed for everybody, I think we need to do more of that in our world today. We've never been more divided, and we need to take time to do that more.
I completely agree. So thank you so much, Dr. It was a pleasure and honor to have you in our podcast, and it's such an amazing feeling to talk to you, learn a lot from you, and get so grateful for you.
Oh, no. Well, thank you. I love your organization. I love the name of the organization and the fact that it's run by women. It's even more powerful. But no, just so excited. Thank you. Thank you for just reaching out. I appreciate you all making the time as well in your busy schedule.
So thank you so much for taking on time to talk to us, to talk to everybody who's watching. This was so important to, push forward whatever amazing work that you do, and we're so grateful. Thank you all for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to Winston channel.